Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video the question is, can I get paid for my out-of-pocket payments that I make in my injury case? So let me, the short answer to that is yes, but it gets more complicated than that. Let me tell you about a situation I had with a guy who I represented. He had a smaller case, but one of his medical providers was hounding him right from the beginning to pay the bill, pay the bill, pay the bill. And he provided them his health insurance information. He actually had health insurance through his employer. He provided them, I think it was like a physician's group who saw him in the emergency room after the accident. And they were hounding him for payment, even though he gave them his insurance information. So they kept hounding him. And finally, it wasn't a big bill, and he got frustrated. And before he hired me, he just paid him the money. It was around 500 bucks, right? So he had a smaller personal injury case, and we did pretty well on it. It was a small case, but we still ended up getting a pretty good settlement for him. But as some of you guys who are more experienced, who have watched more of my videos, know that at the end of the case, if it's like a third party case, like a car crash, truck crash, bus accident, dog bite, bar fight, nursing home abuse, medical malpractice, the Lien Act applies to those cases. So any doctors who or facilities that render you medical care, give you medical care, they can either bill you, they can bill your insurance, or they can wait to get paid at the end of the case by filing what is called a lien. Now, the lien doesn't guarantee that their full bill is going to get paid. They only get a portion of the bill, and after that, the math gets really complicated. Here, let me fix my camera. There, now I'm more in frame. Um, so this guy got tired of dealing with phone calls and letters before he hired me, so he just paid the bill out of pocket. And at the end of the case, obviously that medical provider wasn't somebody that we had to call and work anything out for. Um, and my client got a lump sum of money that was quite a bit larger than the money he paid out of his pocket. But he gave me a call after the case and said, "Hey, is there any way for me to get my 500 bucks back?" It might have been less than $500. It might have been a couple $100. I'm just going off memory here. Um, so he wanted to know, like, now that the case is settled, is there some way that I can get my 500 bucks back? And I told him, well, I'll tell him what I told you. Once the case is settled, third party cases settle in a lump sum. So there's a lump of money at the end of the case that you get, and that is meant to compensate you for everything, including any out of pocket expenses, any medical bills, any pain and suffering, disability, any property in your car you lost. If the insurance company didn't pay you your deductible back for fixing your car, stuff like that. All of it is included in a lump sum of money. And when we get that lump sum of money, obviously lawyer fees and case costs have to be deducted, which is why I keep case costs as low as possible. I've taken over cases for other lawyers where they represent somebody for 30 or 60 or 90 days, and I ask them, the way it works is I ask them for their file. After they um, copy their file, I pay their case costs, they give me your file contents. This is another way I keep case costs low, because then I don't have to double order your medical records or double order a police report. Well, a lot of these lawyers never respond, but that's beside the point. I've seen guys send me case costs with, like, investigator report $600, police report $35, things like this. And it does not cost $35 under most circumstances to get a police report. I get police reports for $6 or $10 or $15 or $13, depending on where we're ordering the police report from. So my point is, a lot of other lawyers are fast and loose with case costs, or they just overspend. What in God's name are you paying an investigator $300 to $600 for as soon as you sign the case up. That's inside joke for you folks. I think we both can figure out what that probably means. It probably means something not great, something unethical. Um, anyway, the point is, in any case that settles in a lump sum, your compensation is included in the pile of money I hand to you at the end of the case, which is why I fight so hard against doctors and anybody else who wants a piece of your case. Now, in many cases, there's literally nothing I can do. It's literally they want what the law says they're entitled to. They don't care if you walk away with nothing. There are even some doctors' offices out there that have people sign a contract at the beginning of the treatment saying they have control over your case. You're acknowledging that they get paid first. They're acknowledging that the doctor's right to get paid is superior to the lawyers, and they will, all this crazy contract language. I don't like it when my clients treat with doctors like that because it means the doctor is interested in money rather than actually helping injured people, which is fine. I mean, different people are allowed to have different priorities, but when you ask my client, unrepresented, to sign a legal contract so you will give them uh, therapy, physical therapy or something like that, it's dirty pool. Send it to me first. I'll tell you not to sign it. Anyway, um, so that's how it works in third party cases. The money you get is going to be part of the lump sum. And that's why if you have the expectation of getting a broken laptop that gets damaged in a fall or in a car crash, or a broken pair of shoes that get broken, or you tear an expensive pair of pants, or you lose anything, or you had to pay the deductible out of your car, you gotta let your lawyer know that stuff so they can include it in their demand to the insurance company. Um, if you don't make that offer, then the lawyer's not going to know, right? Similar to how lawyers don't know where you're going to the doctor unless you tell them, lawyers don't know about, those additional out-of-pocket expenses unless you tell them. So that's how it works in third-party cases. Workers' comp cases are a little bit different. So in a workers' comp case, the default in workers' comp is that they pay you two-thirds of your pay while you're off work. They pay for your medical bills. They owe you TTD at the end of the case. Now, there's really no provision for them paying for, let's say you're walking and you break your cell phone when you fall down. There's really no provision for that under the Act. Um, but the plus side is you're not going to have a situation like my client did in his case where he paid a bill out of pocket because the bills get submitted to workers' comp. If the case is, either they pay the bills as they're incurred, or at the end of the case when we fight with them. And generally, there's two ways a workers' comp case can settle. If the company is fighting every part of your case, and they'll settle it because they realize there's a chance they could lose at trial, they'll offer what's called a lump sum settlement. And what that does is, instead of them paying you as you're off work, pay for your medical bills as they're incurred, and pay you a lump sum of money at the end of the case called PPD, representing the change to your body, the difference in your body as a result of the injury. They'll offer you a lump sum of money at the end of the case, and out of that lump sum of money, even though there are no medical liens in workers' comp cases, if you have outstanding bills, your lawyer can carve out a portion of that lump sum, work out the medical bills with the medical providers, and things of that nature. But in a lump sum settlement, it's similar to a third party. It's a lump of money. And that lump of money is a compromise. It's usually not as much as you might win at trial, but there's a real good reason why lawyers, in cases where there are actual defensible positions by the respondent, by the defense attorney, if there's a chance you're going to go to trial and lose, you're probably better off with a compromise and a lump sum. And that lump sum may often be less than the total of your lost wages and the total of the medical bills and a fair PPD settlement. It's usually a PPD settlement plus compromise on those other, the lost wages and the medical bills. Um, but your lawyer is able to call the providers, although they're not legally obligated to. There's no liens in workers' comp, and if everything is disputed, the defense is going to put contract language in the contract saying we're settling it, but we are all admitting that. Sorry, just had a police officer. He was like driving on the shoulder and he didn't have his sirens on. It turned his sirens on at the last minute, so that was kind of weird. Um, anyway, where was I? If you settle a workers' comp case as a lump sum, that's how it works. Most comp cases are settlements where they come up with a PPD number. They negotiate the PPD number, and most cases you got paid while you were off work. They paid most or all the doctor bills. And what they do in the settlement contract is put language in there saying that the respondent is agreeing to pay any medical bills from identified medical providers through the end of this date. So whether they're known or unknown. So if there's like still bills in process or any out there, they're on the hook to pay them, not you. And, good lawyer will get your employment file and figure out what your actual average weekly wage is based on actual payroll data instead of the estimate we do when we sign up your case, um, and figure out whether, you know, they owe you some more TTD, and that'll be, itemized on the contract separately, and then you get a PPD lump sum that is just for the change to your body, right? So that's how workers' comp's got its own wrinkles. Third party cases have their own wrinkles. I've been doing third party car crash, fall down, dog bite, bar fight cases my entire career, and I've been doing workers' comp for about, I don't know, 20 years now. So, anyway, that's how it works. The short answer is yes, you're technically being compensated for any out of pocket expenses, but it's important to let your lawyer know what those are, so that in a lump sum settlement, in most cases, the lawyer can include a request for those things, and you get some monetary compensation in that lump sum of money. But as far as getting separate money in addition to that lump sum, it's very unlikely to happen. So, what should you do if you still have like an out of pocket medical bill that hasn't been paid? Well, there's a couple of things you can do. One is if you have health insurance, you can get the bill and submit it to your health insurance. You can call them up and say, look, I have this medical bill, it's unpaid. Um, can you help me out? That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is, if it's a lot of medical bills, let's say you have a really bad injury, but you can't find a lawyer to represent you, and the lawyers you talk to say it's not a case, you won't win. And so now the case is over and you're stuck with, let's say, $100,000 in medical bills. Well, another thing to consider is filing bankruptcy. Um, even if you have an income, but your expenses are very close to what your income is, you can file what's called a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which is a payment plan that you stay on for 3 to 5 years. And then at the end of the 3 to 5 years, they wipe out the balance of your debt, most of it. So there are things like debts owed to the state or federal or local government that you can't discharge, or judgments based on, intentional conduct, or, if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol and drive a car and hurt somebody, that's not usually dischargeable. There's different things. I did a little bankruptcy probably, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years ago. I did it for a year or two. Um, so I know a little bit about bankruptcy, plus a lot of clients have questions like that too. So those are a couple of options. The third option you can do is call some of these places and work out a payment plan, but I'll be honest with you. If it's not already on your credit and it's not already causing you problems, it's entirely possible that the medical provider wrote the bill off. And, if nobody's hassling you and it's not appearing on your credit report where it's becoming a problem for you, I'd leave it alone. The reason why is that collection agencies are very difficult and very unreasonable to deal with. They will also do things like add late charges and processing fees and penalty fees that your doctor never added. So some uh, some collection companies buy the debt from your doctor. Some collection companies just work for the doctor to collect the bill for the doctor. If they buy the debt from the doctor, forget it. They're a nightmare. If you have a $200 bill that's outstanding, the collection company is going to tell you it's $1,156.78 because of all these charges, and they're not going to work with you. They're not going to be flexible with you. They will make promises to you that if you send them $100 now, then they will, leave you alone for 6 months. It's usually a lie. You send them the money, they immediately call you and try and get more money from you. So, so it depends on your circumstances, like so many other things. If your circumstances are such that, you can just pay the bill off, that's the easiest thing to do. Maybe call them up and negotiate a deal. Otherwise, have your health insurance do it. Otherwise, consider bankruptcy. But be careful about kicking the hornet's nest. So, anyway, I digress a little bit. I hope this information helps you. I hope you and your family are well. Everyone's doing good. Shooting this when it's cold outside, so I hope everybody by you is warm. However, if God forbid somebody's been in an accident or got hurt and has questions, please do not hesitate to give me a call. This is what I do for a living. Been doing it for more than 25 years now, I think, or about 25 years. It's something like that. I'm closing in on 25 years, believe it or not. Anyway, my point is, feel free to give me a call at any time, night or day. 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. And if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I've got a couple of really cool tools on my website. One is the Case Cash Calculator. The other one is the Good Case Calculator. Both of those are calculators that you can use in 10 to 20 seconds flat. You just answer a couple of quick questions and you get an answer to either what your case value might be in settlement or whether you have a good case or a case with some challenges. So those tools are 100% free, no obligation. Link in the description. You can go to my website and use them anytime you want. Use them as many times as you want. Share them with friends, whatever. And the links are in the description. So anyway, I haven't had enough coffee. I'm a little bit tired. So I'm going to wrap the video up. If you enjoy my videos and you enjoy the advice I give you, or if you've used the advice to help you, um, or if you're a current former client and you wouldn't mind, if you would leave me a 5-star review on Google, it would really help me out. Link in the description. You just paste it into your web browser, whether on a phone, tablet, or PC. Takes you right to the review page. Click 5 stars, say a kind word, click submit. You're done. 5 seconds for you, invaluable for me, so please consider doing it. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.